Big up to Ubuntudunia TV. Keep up the big works. Keep the promotions going. Ote.
2022 showed that only the people will save the people. The world is at war, and everywhere you look, reactionary violence is on the increase. The rich are getting richer, times are getting harder, wages are disappearing, but the same corrupt leaders are still misruling. Mother Earth is under attack and imperialism is desperate, but the old order has to die.
Another world is not only possible, she's on her way. Maybe many of us won't be here to greet her, but on a quiet day, if I listen very carefully, I can hear her breathing.
Change is now not only urgent, it's necessary and it's here. Let's remember that we've made serious gains. Let's learn our lessons and get practical. Organize to win, and remembering that we have won, we can win, and we will win. Last year, Mali, Burkina Faso and Ethiopia all said enough is enough and no more foreign intervention. In Chile, Gabriel Boric, and in Colombia, Gustavo Petro and Francia Marquez rose on the backs of masses of ordinary people moving for change. Floods came, devastating Pakistan and Nigeria, and monarchies died, but people rise. And when they do that, the system tries to fight back, calling for invasion or calling to shut down people's plans for liberation. So where are we now? We're building the new. Rematriation has been our revolutionary call to return to our front lines, where communities of resistance are compelled into action. The International Network of Scholars and Activists for African Reparations, INASAR, in 2022 in July held a conference on rematriation as a calling point to truly learn about how we return back to our traditions and win a struggle for planet repairs and Pan-African liberation. This means the struggle is glocal wherever we find ourselves as Africans and those that stand for Ubuntudunia. So what do we have to do next? We have to get organized. If you're not organized, you're being used. You're wasting the time of your people, we're wasting the time of our ancestors and all of those who have brought us to this point. But if we organize in our homes, organize in our communities, and organize indigenous nations, and then organize for planet repairs, what is going to stop the global majority united for a real liberation? In October, forces and organizations came together to launch PRELA, the Planet Repairs Action Learning Education Revolution, alongside Indigenous Peoples' Day of Resistance and the annual Palenquero cultural celebration in San Basilio de Palenque in Cartagena, Colombia, brought by the work of Akin Bongani and the Panteras Prietas All-African Football Club. Communities of resistance harmonised their efforts and reclaimed the Walter Rodney Freedom Square at the University of London's School of Oriental and African Studies as a true space for democratising education and hearing knowledge that has been produced from below. And so reparations is a struggle for space, for land, for education, for sovereignty, for truth. Sister Bahupa and the Over Herero and Nama and other kindred indigenous communities of resistance in southern and western Africa have continued freedom fighting against colonization at its very root, against the legacies of the 1884 to 85 Berlin Conference, and building a true vision of what sovereignty will look like when indigenous communities take back Africa into their own hands. And these cases are part of the key education supported by the Aya African Learning Community and the Planet Repairs Action Learning Education Revolution. So this year, if we're truly going to win, we have to focus on the miseducation, exposing the lies of the system. And PRELA means decolonizing education, which can only happen and work if we unify action learning processes to transform education all around the world and build the Ubuntu Pachavidia People's Communiversity as an umbrella canopy of a global academy commons. Through Maatubuntuman, we are consolidating the resurgence of Pan-African liberation, of African heritage communities of resistance, focused on the Maatubuntuman in Ubuntudunia strategy and tactics of planet repairs. Through MWISCOR, the Majority World International Solidarity Coordinating Council of Communities of Resistance, we're now spearheading the Majority World globalization of international solidarity for pursuing the strategy and tactics of planet repairs towards Ubuntudunia. And with BCAN, the Extinction Rebellion being the Change Affinity Network, now rising as the spearhead of unifying people's power of the Global South and Global North in order to be the change in pursuit of the strategy and tactics of planet repairs for Ubuntudunia. Our story is a story of people's resistance and rebellion against disorder. It's a story of Queen Nzinga, of Nani, of the Akompong Maroons, of the Otomi, of freedom fighters, of mothers, and if you want to join the revolution, you can get involved in Prela, in the true decolonization of education for Planet Repairs, and you can join a revolutionary organization of internationalist liberation. 2023 is the year of the resurgence of the pluriversality of nations, the resurgence of our liberation movements, and of the next generation. 2023 has to be the year for Planet Repairs and the resurgence of the Pan-African liberation movement in link with anti-colonial movements and communities of resistance everywhere.
Planet Repairs. Planet Repairs. Planet Repairs. If you thought we were at war, I'm here to burst your bubble. You gotta understand this is a generational struggle, and we'll never stop rising up out of the rubble. And Babylon can see us coming and they know that we're trouble. This is for Planet Repairs. This is for Planet Repairs. I want to feature for my church and then a feature for theirs. That's why I'm here talking to you about Planet Repairs. Feature for our church and then a feature for theirs. And you better get busy with the Planet Repairs.
Big up to Ubuntudunia TV, keep up the big works, keep the promotions going. Ote.